Okay, happy Tuesday, guys. This is our first Dream Team chat of September, and we are really excited to jump into a new theme for the month. Last month, we were talking all about sponsoring, joining, leading. And this month, because we have so many new consultants and because our business is a constant cycle of new people coming in, we thought we'd kind of go to some action steps, some actual tangible things that you can be doing in your business that heed results. Okay. Motivation is fleeting. Motivation does not build a business. Motivation will not always be here. Okay. So we don't want to come here and give you a pep talk for 30 minutes. Okay. No. And we don't want to sit here and train about something that we trained about a few weeks ago. Okay. So we're kind of like looking at fresh ways to work your business that are action steps that you can take and apply tomorrow in your business. Okay. This week in particular, we're talking about things on your calendar. Okay. Bree mentioned in housekeeping just a few minutes ago about getting a planner and kind of planning out your month. Okay. This goes right alongside that, talking about parties and events. Okay. These are dates on your calendar where you know you're doing something, you're working something in your business that is hopefully going to lead to PRV, new customers, maybe a teammate, maybe more events on your calendar, right? And so parties and events are really where it's at. When we are talking about front loading your calendar, we are talking about how many parties do you have? What events do you have? We can throw fundraisers in there. We're not talking about fundraisers today. There was a great training by Scentsy last week on fundraisers that you can go watch on the training center. But parties is true.
No, I know. I was looking at our notes. Look, you put that, just that line. And
What? What do you mean? Oh. Okay,
so
well, you'll do the first
yes,
one.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, you guys.
You totally confused me
I'm
there.
so sorry.
Okay.
I did that.
It's okay. So anyways, when we are front loading our calendar, we are asking how many parties are on your calendar, how many events, right? And it's okay if the answer is one party, one event. Okay, that's a great place to start. Okay, one party, one event is an amazing place to start. Actually,
Yep.
Who can say that they have one party and one event on their calendar? Put it in the comments. Okay, me too. It's a good feeling.
Yep.
Okay. One party and one event is a great place to start, but parties and events are so important to your business. It is how Scentsy was created. Okay. Love seeing all these yeses and me's in the comments. You guys are working your business. 'Tis the season to be partying and having events. Okay. And this is the best way to build your business. In fact, it's what Scentsy was founded on, this business model. We are called a party planning business. And that is because when we can get people around our products, we sell more Scentsy. Okay. We recruit more people, we book more parties. The magic really happens when we get the products under people's noses. Okay. Yep. We sell a fragrance product. Okay. So of course it makes sense to get these products under their noses. And so when we are talking about the benefits of these things, it's important to know that like the goal is to build your business. Okay. You could post on social media all day long. That's not growing your business. You could make samples all day long. That's not growing your business. You could create marketing images all day long. That's not growing your business. You could organize your office all day long. That's not growing your business. Growing your business is getting sales, meeting new customers, not just the same 5 people that have been ordering from you since you started, new customers. Okay. Having joint conversations of building a business, of growing a team is something that you want. Having joint conversations, leading your team, right? And then getting more bookings and things on your calendar. So that's what we're talking about tonight. With some straight action steps for you, some straight tangible ideas. And so I'm going to start off with parties, which I really did just cover a bunch of benefits to having some parties. But truly, I think the best part about parties is it's quick and you get high PRV. Most, like I'd say 8 out of 10 parties that you actually put your time and energy and host coaching into, you get really great PRV that you did not have before, and likely from people you did not know before. I literally built my business on Facebook parties and home parties 8 years ago, and I probably have less than 5% of my customers are like friends and family. They're all people that
Yeah.
I've met through Scentsy,
Same.
through parties and events and networking and referrals and working my business. Okay. And I'll be honest, like that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal, is to get outside of your friends and family. Okay. Because the fact of the matter is your customers will support you 100 times more than some friends and family will. Okay.
True that.
So benefit of parties, high PRV, meeting new people, growing your network,
Yeah.
potential teammates. I've met so many teammates from parties. Our newest director, Chantel, we knew each other on Instagram and stuff before, but she had a party and then she joined. Okay. You are one teammate away from a completely different business. And likely that teammate is going to be someone you never knew before Scentsy. Okay. So you will meet new people through parties. Okay. And you'll get more parties and more events. And when you grow your network, you grow your opportunity to network, to get fundraisers and other events and parties and referrals. Okay. So in general, it's just a really great way to build your business. Okay. There's a bunch of different ways to party. So we're going to kind of break it down. Bree's up first talking about social parties, which I think is kind of a space that we've all kind of been living in recently.
Yeah. Which is honestly not my favorite, minus one of these. Just because like Alex, I built my business on home parties and being in person with people. And so when 2020 happened and we were completely online, social parties popped off, like Facebook parties and stuff popped off because everybody was on social media. But we want to keep doing things that people have kind of walked away from. We want to keep doing those. And I think that some of these work for some people and some of them don't. So I'm going to put a massive disclaimer on social parties.
Totally. Agree.
That social parties should be secondary in your business. Okay, as far as parties go, social parties should be secondary.
Especially with the intention to build your business.
Yeah. I feel like social parties, while they're great and they obviously can be a great linking tool for people who are not local to you, it does take a lot more effort, in my opinion, to do any type of social party. It takes more effort, takes more time, and it takes you being incredibly more intentional and I want to say dramatic, but not dramatic, but like in order for me to connect with a brand new person on a social type party, I have to be like 110% of myself.
And you have to do a lot of legwork to get their attention.
Yes, right? Because it's like they don't know me, and here I am just talking to them through a live or
and they can
whatever.
easily scroll past.
Yeah. So I have to catch their attention by being my most dramatic self. And frankly, my daughter sucked that all out of me. I don't have dramatic left. So it's hard for me sometimes. So social parties, I say all that because our encouragement to you would be to be social in real life. But that's not to discredit social parties. And we have found a couple newish ways to party that I feel like are can heed some really great results. And in fact, I'm kind of glad I'm talking about this because I'm having good success with one of them. Social parties, examples of this. Okay. I'm talking about online social parties because hopefully every party is social. If you,
right. If we're partying,
hopefully there's more than you there. So, Facebook parties. Okay. I feel like most of us have either been to a Facebook party of some sort or we've hosted one or whatever. Facebook parties can be really beneficial for people. There are people who have great success with it. There are mock Facebook parties for Scentsy all over the place, and it can be a really great space for you to, again, use as a secondary tool to connect with people who you could not connect with otherwise on some kind of platform, right? So Facebook parties, I'm not going to get too much into that. I feel like we all know kind of what that
they
looks like. But it does take a lot of legwork, right? And it takes a lot of intentional connection with the people who are involved. But to be completely honest, I don't have great success with Facebook parties anymore. 2020 was my high and then my low came right after. So the next one, I'm gonna skip that one for a minute. Zoom parties. So I've done this a couple of times back in the day, not recently, as it pertains to bingo parties. So you can have some people hop onto Zoom and do some sort of party. You could have just like a regular what you would do at a home party, where you have some products that you show them and talk to them about, and you've got people collected here, just like you guys are here, and connect with them that way. And that's an awesome opportunity as well. Even I've seen some consultants do like fragrance coloring parties on Zoom, which I kind of love, right? So everybody purchases their fragrance flower, and then you kind of set a date that's out far enough where people would have their flowers. And then you all hop on Zoom at a certain time and color your fragrance flowers. And that's a really cool way, right? And then while you're coloring, you can be talking about other products or showing them other products while they're coloring. It's something that I've been wanting to try, and I think that's really cool. I think that the catch with like Zoom parties is I think that theming them would heed the best results, right?
Totally.
Having a theme. So if you did one around Halloween, you could have people come dressed up, and then everybody votes for their favorite like costume or the fragrance flower or a bingo night, you know. So anyways, Zoom parties are an option. And I think that that's better than Facebook parties in the sense that you get to be talking to them, right?
And so it's off Facebook.
And it's off Facebook. Yeah. So there's that positive already. But you get to be talking to them, so they get to see your personality and hear your voice and hear your excitement. You can show them things, you know. So Zoom parties are not to be like discredited at any on any way, any level. It's just something that I haven't done recently. Okay, so the next thing we've talked about a lot in recent months, and it's something that a lot of you have caught on to and have good success with, which is personal shopping links. Okay, so those are basically you just going in for a customer or a person that you know and opening up a party link for them to shop from, and in turn turn around and share that shopping link with their friends and family or whatever. Okay. And so I've had great results with that. Alex has had great results with that. I don't necessarily call them a party, because to me, they're not a party. A lot of my personal shopping links are just my customer. Anne Marie did this a few times. She, you know, you just shop on that personal shopping link a bunch of times as you're collecting, as they're doing their normal shopping, and then they get the rewards after, like a normal party host.
Yeah.
Can
I add to that?
Yeah.
But with personal shopping links, I do a ton of them. Like I probably have like 17 of them open on my website right now. If I have a customer who is paying shipping and is not local to me, I'm always going to offer a personal shopping link, because I think it encourages them to shop more, first of all. Especially if it's a first time customer. Okay. I always like to lead with a personal shopping link. That's like my first thing I offer. But when I create the personal shopping link for them, I always say to them, like, send this to your friends and family. Yeah. I will send them a free gift when they order, and you can let them know. And then additionally, I host coach them, essentially, meaning when we have sales or product launches, or even just on a monthly basis, I'm checking in with them like, hey, this is going on. This is where your rewards are at right now, or this is how far you are from rewards. I appreciate you so much. Here's your link.
Yeah.
So there is like some legwork to it, and it can heed results. And the results sometimes, most times, are just a VIP customer and the VIP treatment.
Yes. And heavy on the VIP treatment, right? Because not all consultants do this, shockingly, and especially not for their best customers. And so, even if it doesn't, like for me, it doesn't produce a vast amount of new customers, but what it does do is lock in my regular shoppers. It locks them into loyalty with me, because they know that they're benefiting from something that generally other consultants don't do, or that's just special between me and them. And it does give us a reason for continuous communication. And it's just a really cool way to treat your customers without them even, like, they see the rewards, but you see like constant PRV happening because they're shopping, trying to get to those rewards. Right. So it's a win-win in my opinion. And it produces really great results in some ways,
and like smaller ways.
Yes, in smaller ways.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last thing that we've talked about recently, which we're still like figuring out, but I literally just got a PWS order. I have a customer who I did a boards party with. I tested out this boards party thing and I sent it to her, and she has been sending it out, and I've gotten a few orders, pretty decently sized orders from people that she has sent it to. And I honestly have slacked on the host coaching part of it because it's just, I did the whole, like, it's all set up already
You want to
for
show
her.
them?
Yeah, we can do that. Well, my fall one's not up and running, so
Well, I can show them
yours.
mine.
Yeah. So we'll show you what her fall boards looks like, so you can see what we mean. But the boards app is really cool. We haven't quite done a training on it, and I don't know when we
Yeah,
will.
you guys, we're not at a point where it's like, we're going to walk you through how to do it, but I just want to show you what it looks like.
This is also a very simple thing to learn on your own.
So they can see this. Can you guys see this, Norma? Can you see this? Yeah. Okay. So they could see this on their phone, or like they could see it on a website, and it's basically like a scroll party. So these are images and buttons and text. So it's just talking about Scentsy. Boys, I'm on my training. Warmers. Okay. More warmers, and then buttons. Okay. Fragrance, flowers. It's just going through the products.
not all of them either.
Nope. Just like highlights and favorites. Okay. New collections. And this, it's cool because you can edit it on the back end, and then it edits for their link. Okay. Clearance. Other favorites, right? And then I just highlight a few of my favorites. And then before you go, reminding them to shop the party, and that I send fun mail, and then ways to connect with me. And then obviously a join plug. Okay, just like that. Super simple.
So board parties have there is a boards group on Facebook for Scentsy consultants. We can post the links to those, but there's a boards group. So if you are interested in learning how to do boards, the lady who runs it is fantastic. And so anyways, boards is a great, I really like it because it's like once you create it, once you do the legwork, you only have to go in and edit it as you go. And then it's like, I just send it to them and I check in with them. It's not a matter of like, hey, can you message these people? Hey, I make a post about this. It's just like, it feels more natural communication because they're just texting it. But when they text that link, that person, the people that are on the receiving end have all the information that they need. Right.
And Jessica, we literally just started this like 5 or less days ago. So like the host coaching thing is still something that I'm trying to figure out as well, as far as the boards party goes.
Right. But I feel like the host coaching part of it is the same as any other party where you are checking in with your host. And what we've also talked about doing is adding a link for like a Google form for them to fill out for like
to get a sample,
like a sample pack or something, something in the mail. So then you see who's opening it, and then once they fill out that Google form or whatever form, you've got their phone number and their address. So then you can touch base with them as well.
Yep.
But also hopefully, especially the boards party, hopefully your host is only sending it to people who she has or who they have like good communication with, right? So it wouldn't be like a weird request for you to say, hey, Sarah, will you reach out to those people who you sent that boards link to and just ask them if they've browsed it yet, if they have any questions, whatever, right?
And additionally, I think a lot of hosts hide behind not having to do anything.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
And so part of host coaching to me is like
teaching.
Snap a picture of you changing your wax and let people know that you're having a Scentsy party.
Yeah.
Right. And then they'll get some ideas of who to send their link to.
Yeah.
I'm a good deal. No.
Okay. I'm going to move on then. Okay. So that's our social online parties that we kind of have condensed down, right? We're not getting into like the details of all of these because our hope and encouragement for you guys is to take action in the party and event realm. So we're just throwing out ideas and ways that you can take action in your business, but not the details on the nitty gritty. Okay, so the next part is product forward parties. Okay, so these are types of parties where we are looking at getting product to the people and having them experience it outside of like in person, like an actual sit down in person events. So one of the ways that we can do that is a borrow bag. Okay, so this works great for local customers. I used to do this all the time in California when I lived there. I would get a cute bag off of Amazon or something that I had laying around, and I would put some products in it. And some testers and some catalogs and some order forms and like the wall fans or the laundry stuff or a warmer that you have sitting around and a half-used bar of wax or some room spray and counter clean, whatever. I would put that in a bag and then I would go deliver it to, excuse me, my host who has a office job or who is going to a family event next week for Labor Day, whatever. And then she would take that bag full of the products that she doesn't have, full of the catalogs that her people have never seen, full of the testers that they've never smelled. And she would take that borrow bag to wherever she's going to be for a week or two, and share that bag with her people. Right. And she would collect orders that way. And so maybe in the office, she would plug in the wall fan and she would lay the catalogs on the counter or in the break room and share Scentsy that way. She is borrowing my bag of Scentsy stuff to share with the network of people that I don't have access to yet, right, for a week or two. The host coaching there takes a little bit more effort, right? Because you've got to let them know ways, give them ideas on how that they can be sharing Scentsy in that bag and how to utilize those products. But it can heed some really amazing results if you have hosts that are dedicated to loving the products, who already know about Scentsy, who are excited about it, who want the rewards. Like, these are really great ways to get in-person hosts talking to their networks of people that you haven't reached out to, and especially those who are like, I don't want to do a home party at work all the time, whatever. This is great. A tester party, I'm not sure where you were. Like
sometimes you have like excess of current testers, right? Maybe you have like 2 transition sets or whatever. You've been with Scentsy for a year or two, and you have like duplicates of cider mill and apples and cinnamon sticks or whatever, enough to throw some testers with a catalog into a mailer and mail it to your customer for them to keep, right? There's no expectation to get that back. But then it would be treated as the same version of a borrow bag, but maybe for someone who's not local to you, who could then take those testers to work, share them with their coworkers, collect some orders that way, or the like, share it with their get-togethers, their family, their church, whatever. It's just like a smaller version of a borrow bag that is less product forward. Because again, all you need to be successful truly sharing Scentsy is testers in the catalog, I believe firmly. Of course, anything extra is a bonus, but testers in the catalog with maybe a sample of washer whiffs, and like you've got a really great picture of what Scentsy is, and you can still do a party that way too. Norma, in the summer, we don't mail without things
yeah.
melting.
Yeah.
This is more so for like the fall and winter for sure. Yep.
Local displays. So I love doing this. This is something that I've started really doing since I moved to Texas because I don't know people here. And so it started with my lash girl and my hair girl, and they let me put warmers in their little salon spaces. And actually her cousin, I don't know, did it too. She did it with her too. But anyways, so putting up warmers, and I just went to the people that I was being loyal to.
Thanks, Karen.
And and it works because relationship, right? So it's like my hair girl, my lash girl, who I see every 2 weeks. We got talking and she loves Scentsy. And so then in addition to whatever she was ordering, I said, hey, would you mind if in your salon I just brought a warmer? I'll change the wax every time I come. I'll bring you new stuff. I'll bring you new catalogs. Whatever you want to have out, I will bring to you at no cost to you. You get to enjoy the fragrance in your space, and I will take care of the details. But will you just let it be here, and I will supply everything that you need? And both my hair girl, and now the bakery that I'm working at part-time have allowed me to do that. And what's really great is this can work super well for me in this season. It's really just about being able to have the conversations with people, or to get my name out there, because I'm starting to find that people are recognizing who I am. It hasn't heated a ton of orders per se necessarily, but like at the bakery, I'm there with the warmers and the stuff that's on display. And so when people are asking about it or questioning it, it's like I can chime in and be like, oh yeah, that's me, And so I have to rely on the other people when I'm not there. But it's a great way to kind of get your name out there. It's a great way to get people familiar with the products, is having a display up. Now there are compliance things, boundaries around like displays, cash and carry. Like you can't have cash and carry at a brick and mortar place. Yeah, you just can't. So you'd have to set up that display for cash and carry, and then you'd have to be there the entire time, and then you'd have to take it down each day, right? So hopefully that makes sense. It's compliance. You can look it up in the Scentsy standards. Okay, moving on.
Okay, moving on. We're going to talk about some in-person parties, just because that is what I think the bread and butter of parties is. If you have not done an in-person party, you don't even know what I'm talking about, okay? Because in-person parties are truly where it's at. And I'm talking about launch parties, home parties, themed parties. You could do like a cookie swap where they each bring their favorite cookies.
Yes.
That's perfect going into the holidays. Costume party for Halloween. You could do a favorite t-shirt party where everyone brings their favorite t-shirt and you wash them in Scentsy laundry, which I love that, because then they can't leave till the clothes are dry, right? Like you keep them there for like an hour and a half. Okay. You can do
She
bingo.
tried to hold people hostage.
Right. Yes. You stay and I'm locking the door.
Yeah.
You could do fragrance flower coloring parties, right?
Yeah.
You can theme your parties, which is really great. Or you can do traditional style where you set up a display, everyone comes and eats some snacks. This is honestly my favorite. Everyone comes, they eat some snacks. You give them a little display through the catalog. You let them ask questions. At the end of it, they give you orders and then they go on their merry way. Honestly, that's where I found the most success with my parties. But also I find really great success with open houses, where you give them like a 3 or 4 hour time slot. And they can come and go as they please. This would be really ideal for yourself to do an open house yourself.
Yes.
Or like your best friend, right? If you don't mind going over there for the whole evening, set up an open house at your best friend's house, right? Why not?
Yep.
Right? Because that's longer than a traditional home party, right?
An open house.
Typically. Yeah. So great for yourself, where you're going to be there and your customers come and go, or for like your best friend where you want to be there, right? But parties are really amazing for all the benefits that we listed.
Yep.
Traditionally, my home parties average between 500 to 1,000 PRV.
Yep.
My home parties average between 3 to 10 to 12 new customers in my network. My home parties average 2 bookings. And my home parties average out of 10 home parties, probably 4 people join. Okay. Home parties are, in my opinion, the best way to build your business.
Yep.
It is such a beautiful business model. It doesn't take a lot of your time. With the Facebook party, I think Taryn commented that she spent all day or several days setting up a Facebook party, right?
Yeah.
Setting up a template, right? All day. You could pack for a home party in 30 minutes, and you could spend 2.5 hours at a home party and walk away with double the PRV you have right now or more, new customers, new bookings, maybe someone who wants to join your team. Okay.
And obviously this isn't like a foolproof happens every time, right? You will have floppy,
but I dare you
parties.
to try.
Yeah.
Don't let that statement scare you from doing it, because I dare you to try.
Yeah.
Because you will find out of 10 home parties that you book and you host coach and you prep for, maybe 2 aren't what you think, but you're still going to get sales and you're still going to get new customers.
Yeah.
Home parties truly are, in my opinion, the best way to work your business. And if I could make you guys do anything, it would be have a home party. Like if I was your boss, which I'm not, and if I could make you, which I can't, do anything, it would be to have a home party. So many people are afraid. They talk themselves out of it.
Yeah.
They say that they don't need to do it. They don't have the space. They don't have the time. No one would come. But those are excuses.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you absolutely can figure it out. Do it at your best friends, your mom's, your work. Rent a, you know, the
do it in your small space.
Yes.
You should not that her space is super small, but
yeah, go off.
yeah. But it's like Alex doesn't have a huge
I'm in an apartment,
place.
you guys. I'm in a 3-bedroom apartment with 3 kids. Okay.
And she held a bomb open house here.
And I'm gonna do it again later this month.
Yeah. And the cool thing is too, is about not even just open houses, but even home parties. It's like, you don't even have to have a display. What Alex did was she just literally made some
little station,
like little stations, but like the display was the warmers and diffusers that she already had up in her house, up and going. She's like, oh, you want to see that diffuser? Go to my bathroom.
Yep.
Because that's where it lives.
Yep.
Right. So it doesn't have to be some big old thing that you concoct in your mind, and you need the space and you need balloons and it needs to look like a Real Housewives party. Like, no, it just needs to be an open door and an open mouth invitation to come see the Scentsy that is living where you're at. Mm-hmm. And personally, when I do home parties now, I don't even do display tables of anything. Same. I set up stuff in their house to make it look like that was already here.
Yep, me too. Because let me just remind you guys that we are a lifestyle brand. Okay, we're not over here. No offense to these other companies. We're not over here selling storage for our food. We're not over here selling makeup. Okay, those are very targeted, very specific items. Okay, we are a lifestyle brand and we carry so many different products that we use.
Yep.
Laundry, cleaning, pets, kids, home, travel, all the things. Okay. And truly, if you can just get it around people, the products do the talking. The products sell themselves. So yes, do it in your small apartment. Make it warm and cozy. Do it in your messy home. It is okay. I mean, clean up a little bit, right? Like have somewhere for people to sit.
She said it.
But do it anyways. Because I promise you, parties can change the trajectory of your business. And if you haven't done a party yet because you're afraid, do the party and watch your confidence grow.
Right.
Watch you be less afraid to do another one, and then less afraid to do the next one. And then the next thing you know, you have 50 new customers that you didn't know before you started doing parties. And your PRV average is double or triple what it used to be. And you have double the people on your team because you decided to start doing parties. I promise you, if you are wanting to grow your business and you're not doing parties, home parties, in-person parties, that is the missing link.
And truly, like, just like anything else, it literally sometimes comes down to what you tell yourself. It comes down to what you tell yourself. Yep. And we talk about this a lot with recruiting. It's like, okay, if you want to be a good recruiter, then tell yourself you are a recruiting rock star. Mm-hmm. Right? So if you want to be a person who goes out and books a ton of parties or has really successful parties, then you have to tell yourself, I am great at booking parties, or I am great at showing up and hosting parties.
Yep.
Okay. So sometimes it just starts with our mindset, and then everything else is like, well, why didn't I do this before? It's because you're lying to yourself.
Yep.
In the beginning.
It is so true.
Yeah.
Yep.
So see y'all later. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, moving on, you guys. I think parties, we drilled it in to the wood. Okay. Parties are where it's at. It's a really great way to build your business. In addition to that, there's also events. So go off.
Okay. So events are you putting yourself out in the community, right? It's you putting yourself out to a greater audience of people that you are not so closely connected with, like your host or whatever. But events are a great way to have a widespread opportunity to connect with a lot of people, again, in a short period of time.
Do you need the notes?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So let me quickly run down the benefits of events. where am I going with this? Okay, so community connection. So connecting with your community. I love this. I'm not huge into events. Matter of fact, I really only do events if I know the people really well or it's family. But it, I did the same event every year in California for my husband's cousin at her barn. And it was fantastic because I was connecting with people who I otherwise wouldn't have access to. I was creating connection with that community, and I was building relationships with people because there is a whole niche of people who literally only shop for certain things at events. Like I would have people who would come buy Scentsy from me, but I would not hear from them no matter how many times I followed up, no matter how many times I checked in. I would not hear from them, see them until the next year at that same event. And then they'd come back and stock up. Right. So there's a whole niche of people who just love to event hop and they love to get their stuff at the event and they don't want to have to deal with the maintenance of checking in and blah, blah, blah. So it is an awesome opportunity for you to have those people and for you to just build your repertoire of it's a fun word of who you're meeting and who you're expanding with. Okay, so obviously having an event increases your sales. Certain events, some events, I always went into events with the idea of I don't have a lot of stock, and so it wasn't necessarily for high sales, but I went with the intention of getting people's information and building relationships. Okay, so I think with events, it's important to set your expectations where they belong, and it's just going to depend on the event and your stock and the space and whatever the season. All of those are factors, but set your expectations where they belong. Okay, but in the right situation, the right mindset, the right blah, 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 event environment, thank you, you can produce an event that you are building your team, that you are recruiting people, that you are having join conversations. There are many consultants who do this very well. Jennifer Anderson is like Queen Bee events. Debbie Pitts Palmer does really great events as well, where they literally show up with tons of stuff. And events is something that some consultants build their entire year's worth of earnings in a 9-day period. That's great. It's not me, can't do that. But it is an option. But even if you're just doing small events, if you go into it with the idea of, okay, I'm going to talk to some people about the opportunity. I'm going to talk to some people about the sales. I'm going to talk to some people about referrals. I'm going to network with other vendors, right? That's one of also my other favorite thing is because we talk about how this is a relational business. You have the opportunity to build relationships with the other vendors who are around you. And I think that that's a really cool thing that we don't factor in enough is that we're not the only ones selling stuff out here, right? And we buy from other small businesses, and I really value supporting other small businesses. And so when I'm in a room or a space with 12 other vendors, I for sure want to go over to the next person and see what they're doing, see what they're selling. And even if it's not something that I'm going to buy, I'm going to build relationship with them. I'm going to talk to them about what their business looks like, right? Learning, growing, building relationships, all of that can happen inside of a vendor event. And it's a really great opportunity for not only you to build connection, but for you to network with other vendors who might have connections that you don't have access to, right? Which can lead to you booking more events, right? So if you do your first couple events and you're like, wow, I really like this, I wonder how I can do more. That vendor sitting next to you may have access to a huge vendor event or has access to more vendor events outside of your town. Whatever, the possibilities are quite endless, right? But you just never know. Like Alex said before, you're one person, one party, one vendor event from a completely different business. And so do not sign up for a vendor event and then sit in the corner with your arms crossed and refuse to talk to people, refuse to smile, refuse to make conversations. You have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone and have conversations with people and to share what you love. And that's another space where I feel like you have to be like 110% of you, right? Because you need people to stop and look at you and to talk to you and engage with you and see you in a snapshot of a second, right? Because they can walk on by right?
Yep.
And some people will walk on by, and some people will ignore you, and some people will not want to buy your stuff. And so you have to know that that's going to happen, and you have to be okay with it. But on the flip side, events can be a huge stepping stone into bigger and better things, and it can impact every part of your business. But I will say events aren't for everybody. It's
Yep.
not something that I go seeking. It's not something where I spend a lot of my time, but it absolutely is for a lot of people, and it can be what unlocks your business into much greater things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Um, and I think you can tell just by the way that we talk that no, events aren't our bread and butter. Events
Yeah.
aren't what built our business. But just here in the comments, there's some testimonies from other consultants, Michelle and Tammy, saying some of their best customers and teammates came from events, right? I know Chantel says the same thing. I know other consultants say the same thing. And so absolutely doing events can be the way that you choose to build your business. And that's completely amazing and fine. And if that is something you want to venture into, I say go for it. I personally do smaller events. I feel more comfortable with smaller events where I can bring my small amount of stuff that is mine personally that I get free and half off to those events. And I can sell that. And really, I'm there to get people into my customer group. I'm there to talk to people about joining. I'm there to meet other vendors, maybe book another small vendor event. I'm not there to sell 10,000 PRV. I'm not at the State Fair of Texas set up to have this big immaculate booth. I'm there on a very small local level. Okay. And there are levels to this. Okay. And so if you are wanting to step into events, I would recommend starting small, like looking for an event that's like $70 or less to sign up for, and set those expectations that I'm there to network. I'm there to get my name out. Any sales that come, I hope I make that $70 back. But really, I hope I meet 15 new people, right? And my goal is to get them in my VIP group so then they can see Scentsy. And when they come into my VIP group, I'm like, hey, I'm local. I close orders weekly. I can deliver it to your door with discounted shipping, right? That's what I look for when I do my events. I only do like 1 or 2 a year. But again, there's levels to this, and people work their business in different ways. So if events are something that rocks for you, like Michelle, it seems like Michelle loves doing events, right? I know Chantel loves doing events. That's amazing. Okay. So just some quick tips on ways to look for events in your community. Google. Good old Google is really nice. You could just search vendor events near me, and don't be afraid to go out to a town, the next town over, the next town over, the next town over, right? Be willing to drive maybe within a logical amount for you. But don't just look in your town, look in the surrounding towns. Google, again, Facebook events. There's like the events tab of Facebook. Go look for local events near you. Drive around your community. A lot of times they'll put up like a sign like craft fair, August 5th, right? And it will have like a website, and then guaranteed on that website, there's like want to be a vendor, contact so-and-so. Right? Start contacting these people. Referrals, straight up ask. Right? You could go on local Facebook groups. Like, does anyone know of any vendor events coming up that I could be a vendor at? Post on your personal Facebook. Hey, wanting to expand my business and do some vendor events. Does anyone know of any coming up?
Go to your local small businesses. Like, I feel like in my town, we have so many small businesses that participate in vendor events that if I went to them and said, hey, I want to be a part of a vendor event, when's your guys' next one? Who do I get in contact with? It's a great way to ask.
And while you're at your events, network with the people. Bree mentioned this. Network with the people beside you. Network with the event coordinator to see if they have any other ones. Network to secure your spot at the next one next year, right? Because usually it's not just one and done. Usually it's a reoccurring annual event. And so get on it again for the next year, right? And that's what's cool about events is once you get in, you kind of have that the loyalty there, and they're going to go with you if you want it. So I think that's really good. So and double check that they're not scams, because people will be scamming these days wanting
real scammy.
But generally you should know, use your best instinct there. But that would be my tips on booking events. Do you think of anything else?
No.
Okay. So there are your call to actions. or I mean your action steps for
Parties.
parties and events, ways that you can do it, encouragement to do it, different types that you can do.
Yep.
And we're gonna end
With
today
the call to action.
with the call to action,
which is shocking to all of you.
Yeah.
I know, but it's going to be to book a party or an event.
Yep.
This week.
Yep.
Okay. You don't have to do it this week, but book it this week and
follow through with it.
Yeah, don't be booking parties and then bailing.
Or don't be booking parties and then not host coaching and then just like letting it skate by until it's the week before and they're like, oh no, that's not going to work. Okay. Book it and follow through.
Yes. And then when you do book, come onto the team page and share that you've booked, and we can all cheer you on and be so excited for you. And please, when you do that, share how you booked the party. Like what was your verbiage? How did you meet this person? What was that conversation like? Because sometimes that's what hangs us up is the verbiage or the how do we even talk to our people about it? So
yep.
Yeah, share pictures or it didn't happen. Don't book and bail.
Facts.